If you live in Europe and you're following United States investing advice, stop right now. I'm not exaggerating. What works in the US can actually hurt your returns if you live in Europe by draining your portfolio with surprise taxes and even leave your family with a massive tax bill after you die. In fact, there's one little known United States tax rule that can quietly take up to 40% of your investments the day you die, even if you haven't lived in the States for decades. We'll cover that in just a bit. But here's something even scarier. Most Europeans who follow these American strategies are unknowingly breaking their own country's tax laws. Later on, I'll show you exactly how to stay compliant and invest smartly from Europe. First though, let's dive into why popular American tips like max out your Roth IRA, buy Vanguard Total Stock Market Exchange Traded Fund, or lower your taxable income with a 401k plan simply don't work once you cross the Atlantic, and what you should do instead. The Roth Individual Retirement Account and the 401k plan are like celebrities. You hear about them everywhere. But if you live in Europe, you can't just open one like you would in the United States. What's worse, if you already have one and then move abroad, your new country might not recognize its tax advantages. In the United States, gains inside a Roth IRA grow completely tax-free. In Germany, however, those same gains could be taxed every year, sometimes as high as 28%, even within the account itself. I'll share a story shortly about a German investor who thought his Roth IRA was safe, until his first European tax bill showed up unexpectedly. You've probably heard the saying, just buy Vanguard VTSAX index fund and relax. It sounds great, right? Until you try to buy it from Europe and get blocked. The reason is the European Union's Packaged Retail and Insurance-Based Investment Products Regulation, known as PRIIPs. This regulation requires investment funds to provide key information documents in local languages. But Vanguard, Schwab, and BlackRock don't bother providing these documents for their United States-based exchange-traded funds. Because of this, most European brokers simply block access to popular funds like Vanguard Total Stock Market Exchange Traded Fund, SPDR S&P 500 Exchange Traded Fund, and Invesco QQQ Trust. But here's the good news. There's a legal loophole that lets you get almost the exact same United States market exposure without ever buying a United States-based exchange-traded fund. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. Now, here's a real shocker that hardly anyone talks about. If you're not a United States citizen and you hold more than $60,000 in United States assets, like stocks or exchange-traded funds, the IRS can claim up to 40% of that amount when you pass away. Let that sink in for a moment. You could live in Spain for decades, never set foot in the United States. But if you hold $200,000 in United States exchange-traded funds, your heirs could owe $80,000 to the Internal Revenue Service. Later in the video, I'll reveal the exact type of exchange-traded fund that protects you from this tax entirely. One big problem with typical United States investing advice is it assumes low capital gains and dividend tax rates. In Europe, that's often not the case. For example, France taxes dividends at a 30% flat rate. Spain taxes dividends up to 26%. Germany taxes capital gains at 26.375%. Portugal taxes at 28%, unless you qualify for the non-habitual resident tax regime. What does this mean? Frequent trading and collecting dividends can get very expensive really quickly. For many Europeans, accumulating exchange-traded funds, which automatically reinvest dividends, are a much smarter, tax-efficient option. In a moment, I'll share how a French investor dramatically lowered her dividend tax bill without moving country. If you're investing through a United States broker like Fidelity or Vanguard while living in Europe, you're likely facing some serious paperwork problems. These brokers often don't provide the proper tax documents that European tax authorities require. This makes it difficult to accurately report your capital gains, convert United States dollars to euros for your tax filings, and stay compliant without hiring an expensive tax professional. I'll tell you a simple switch you can make that will save you from all this headache in just a moment. So, you live in Europe and want to invest smartly and legally. Here's your simple playbook. Step 1. Use a Europe-based broker like Vigiro, Trade Republic, Interactive Brokers Europe, or eToro. Step 2. Stick to undertakings for collective investment in transferable securities exchange-traded funds, also called UCITS ETF, based in Ireland or Luxembourg. Step 3. Learn the tax rules in your country, especially for dividends and capital gains. Step 4. Use any available tax-sheltered accounts, known as tax wrappers. Each European country have one or more. By following these straightforward steps, you can reduce your tax exposure and enjoy most of the same benefits as if you were living in the United States. Remember that 40% estate tax trap I mentioned earlier? You can avoid it completely by investing in Ireland-domiciled undertakings for collective investment in transferable securities. Exchange-traded funds that hold United States stocks but keep your assets outside the reach of the Internal Revenue Service. And that German Roth individual retirement account tax nightmare? It happened because the investor didn't check whether his new country recognized the account's tax benefits, a mistake you can avoid with a quick chat with a local tax advisor before moving. As for the French investor who cut her dividend taxes dramatically, she switched from distributing exchange-traded funds to accumulating ones, allowing her portfolio to grow without constant tax hits. American investing advice is built for Americans. In Europe, blindly following those rules is like plugging a European appliance into a United States socket. You might get a spark, but you'll probably get burned. Invest with the rules of your country, not someone else's. If you found this video helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and drop your country in the comments below. I'll respond with tips tailored just for your situation. See you in the next one.